Hi, welcome to Smeester's Corner. I'm Adam Smeester. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about emotional IQ. And what you want is to have a higher emotional IQ. The reason you want to have a higher emotional IQ is because you want to know what you're feeling so that you can figure things out. If you don't even know what you're feeling, it's harder to figure yourself and your life out. Now, having a high emotional intelligence is easier said than done. The first step in having a high emotional intelligence is understanding and identifying which emotion you are feeling, allowing yourself to feel it so that eventually you can move on from that emotion, so you're not feeling that emotion all the time. Now that sounds simple, but it's really hard for a lot of people, so let's get into it. Just like the color wheel has primary colors and then all the other colors are just combinations of those, it's kind of the same with emotions. There are 4 basic emotions and then all the other emotions are just combinations of those 4 emotions. The 4 emotions are anger, sadness, fear, and joy. But here's the thing. Most of us have a go-to emotion. So most of us have one of those emotions is our go-to emotion that we use to mask the other emotions. Let me give you some examples. So maybe your go-to emotion is anger, all right? But it's masking maybe sadness. So maybe you applied for a job and you didn't get the job. Maybe you let yourself down somehow. Maybe you didn't do your best, so you feel sad. But instead of letting yourself feel sadness, you go to your go-to emotion, which is anger, and you're just angry about it. So you mask your sadness with anger. Maybe you've had a hard life. Maybe you've had to be on your own your whole life. Maybe you've had to make all decisions for yourself and you're kind of scared that maybe you can't keep that up the rest of your life and you don't know what to do. So you feel scared, but your go-to emotion is anger, so you're just angry about it all the time. And I see this every day with students, and they're just perpetually angry because that anger is masking another emotion, but it comes out as just anger. Or perhaps maybe you've been abandoned by people who are supposed to love you or in a relationship or something, and that makes you feel scared, but your go-to is anger instead. So you're masking that fear with anger. Maybe your go-to is fear. So maybe somebody hurt you and you should be feeling some sadness about that, but your go-to anger is fear. So you're feeling for your future and you feel fear about that future. You feel anxious, you feel anxiety, you fear that unknown. So as a result, you don't let people in, which is a reaction to your fear, not your sadness, because it's a mask. Or maybe your go-to is sadness. And when someone hurts you, maybe you should feel a little anger about that. But your go-to is sadness, so you just shut down. You just shut down, you put your head down in class, or you quit responding to people and you isolate because your go-to is sadness. And I see that a lot too. Now, maybe the emotion that you should be feeling is some sort of combination between all of these. So maybe it's not just fear you should be feeling or sadness, maybe it's like a combo. But there's probably a foundational emotion that you should be feeling that you're masking. And the point of this is to say you mask a lot. So when you're feeling emotional, a person with a high emotional IQ, the first thing you should do is say, what emotion is it that I'm actually feeling right now? And people with high emotional IQs don't really have to think about that too much. But some of us like me, my go-to might be anger or something. I have to stop and think, all right, what am I actually feeling right now? And then I have to let myself feel that emotion, feel the sadness or feel the fear, because I don't allow myself to feel fear. Let yourself feel that so that it can get out eventually. If you don't identify those emotions and you don't let yourself feel those foundational emotions, you will never get over the masking emotions. You will never be able to get over that emotion. So if you're supposed to feel fear and you don't let yourself feel it and you feel anger all the time, you're constantly going to feel anger all the time because you've never gotten over the fear part. So you're constantly masking. So every time you think about whatever situation that was, every time that comes up in your head, you're automatically going to go to anger, and you're never going to get through it. You're never going to get over it. It's never going to go away. So what happens is you end up feeling the emotion that you're masking with, you end up feeling that emotion all the time, the sadness or the anger. You end up feeling that a lot, and a lot more than you should to be healthy. That'll make you miserable. It'll make you anxious. It'll make you an angry person. It'll make you someone that's not great to be around a lot of times. And then you might start masking the anger with happiness so that people do want to be around you, which makes you feel even more miserable. So again, identify which emotions you are feeling in the moment. Let yourself feel them so you can get through it, so that the other emotions don't take you over. So to have a higher emotional IQ, identify which emotions you're feeling, let yourself feel it, so that the negative, the other masking emotions don't take you over. That's a way to be more healthy, and you will feel more in control. Otherwise, every issue turns into the same problem, anger or sadness. And then your issue becomes the anger or the sadness. And you can't discern why you feel that way, or what to do about it, or where to go from here. You could be anywhere emotionally. And that's not good, to feel like you're anywhere. Once you identify it, that tells you where you are. So you're not anywhere, you're at a specific point. Once you know where you are, you can then determine where to go, or where you want to be in relation to where you are. But if you're anywhere, you can't determine any of that. So I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.